Options Millionaire Maker Strategy 1. This is the overview of what this actually is. This is a home study course. It's a video-based home study course that will teach you the method, the strategy for looking to strike it on home runs with options. Strike what? Strike the big trend shift. This coordinates with the strategy 1 of the Millionaire Maker course, and or a similar course, Options Millions. And I know it's a little tacky sounding, but we are specifically targeting this concept of going for one's first $1 million. Why are we doing that? Because if we firstly do not have a goal, then where are we going to go? And then most people get involved in trading and options to make a lot of money, right? Well, at least that's the idea. Whether they really are interested in making a lot of money is another thing. That's why I go over that and teach that and start to dip into the inner game of what's really going on inside, because you need to know what you're really thinking, because you are going to manifest what you really think and what you really believe in the marketplace. Most people do not or are not willing to be that honest with themselves about the market and admit why they're actually in the market. Most people are in the market, I would say, just deducing by behavior and, looking into myself over time and studying myself, the different interactions and emotions and ideas, good or bad. Most people aren't in the markets necessarily to make money. They're in the markets because it's exciting. It's just some cool thing. It just sounds exciting. It's just, I want to be in the markets, right? And it is exciting, but in order to make money, we have to get more methodical. You can say business-like, or I would say treat it as you would your job. I mean, most people can relate to that more than a business. I mean, you can start a business and do a really crappy job, and you don't want to bring that into trading, right? But most people understand that if you don't do your job, if you don't do it well, what's going to happen? You're going to get fired, right? So the market's going to fire you if you don't do your job. So ultimately, this strategy is developed to match the first tier approach for targeting the first million, which we take that first million goal and we reverse engineer it. Well, we say, okay, first million, how do we get there? We break it down in the Options Millions course, or Millionaire Maker course. There are two of them, sorry. And so you're not gonna hit $1 million in options unless you go. Well, I mean, technically you can, but if you buy some long-term options in a big trend, buy a lot of them. Well, I mean, actually, that's what we're trying to do here. But we want to do so very specifically and strategically, okay, with clear-cut rules, very specifically, and with intent. We don't want to accidentally make a first million, because then we're not going to know what to do with it. And then the emotions kick in, and then you can do all sorts of crazy things. And you can see that cycle in lottery winners. What's the stat? I mean, I haven't really looked up the exact stat, but as I was told, 90% of lottery winners go bankrupt. It's hard to handle unless you have experience or grew up in a family that knew how to manage money well, that taught you well, that not only taught you the pointers, the cerebral parts of managing money well, but also impressed upon you the emotional mind state in dealing with a lot of money. If you don't have that type of education, then you're not going to know what to do with a lot of money. You're going to have a hard time handling it. So we cover that in our Millionaire Maker course. All right, so you want to definitely get that, of course, if you're getting this strategy. So this strategy goes for home runs, like big, gigantic trend moves. Sometimes they can happen pretty quick, like even a month, or 3 months, 6 months or so, somewhere in there. Some of these trends can go on for a while, but Of course, we have a time limit with options, so we'll go look at the different scenarios and how to play them. And then also, what if you run out of time in your option? Well, what can you do? Well, it's got fixes for those too. So, all right, that's it. This is a home study course that teaches you this strategy. Extremely valuable, a great strategy, and you would do well to add this to your arsenal. And better yet, you do well to add this, in my opinion, add this to your trading habits. And just because you have a home run type of approach to trade doesn't mean you have to go put a lot of money into it. Remember, these are options that are already leveraged. So you can even start with one contract and go from there. Actually, it's not a bad idea, right? Because, in the meantime, while you're studying the strategy and making sure it's your vehicle to ride, you can learn enough to know that it's good and solid, so you can put it to work and just start small. And that's really that's the secret key. You got to take action and go do something about it, because when you buy that first contract, all of a sudden you've taken a step, and now you're in the world of these big giant home run types of moves. And now your mind will be there. You started. Now you've crossed an emotional barrier, and now you're in a position to succeed and succeed big. So that's about it. I'll stop talking. But if you're not on this site, just go to optionstradingauthority.com, or I'll just type it out. If you can read that font, optionstradingauthority.com, and you can just find it. Hit the search bar or something. Okay, thanks.